Yo, what's up everyone? It's Rift Spawn here. Sorry that I have been gone for so long, but I am back now, and today we are going to be doing a Nuclear War Now Productions unboxing video along with a MAGGOT STOMP unboxing video. This was originally supposed just to be the Nuclear War Now, but I wasn't very happy with the recorded version that I made, so I threw it in the trash. And after I threw it in the trash, before I got to recording this, I got a package from MAGGOT Stomp. So I thought I'd just combine the two together and show you guys a little collection update that I've gotten over the last month. So thanks for being loyal, and as always, stay tuned and stay cosmic. Alright guys, so I'm not going to do this in any particular order. I'm going to try to keep the MAGGOT Stomp with the MAGGOT Stomp and the Nuclear War Now with the Nuclear War Now. But they're just kind of scattered in this box, I think. So I'm not going to take time to organize it beforehand. There's some CDs, there's some cassettes, and there is a fat stack of vinyl. First, we will do the CDs because all the CDs are from Nuclear War Now. The main thing with the Nuclear War Now, a little backstory on this. I have listened to black metal off and on for a good 5 years now, since I was probably a sophomore in high school. And surprisingly, I have no black metal in my collection whatsoever. And I know February is like Black History Month, and this is going to sound like really cheesy, but I was like, Black History Month, black metal. I use that as my reasoning to spend money on black metal and just get the ball going. And Nuclear War Now hooked me up with a pretty good stack of stuff that I am glad to say I own now. So, first up, what we have is Beharit Drawing Down the Moon. This was pressed on Spine Farm Records. So, yeah, just real basic. I'm not going to open up the contents and everything. I'll post a slideshow at the end showing the vinyl and the contents and all that. I'm just going to simply go through it and show you guys what I got. So yeah, first up, Beharit Drawing Down the Moon. Next up, I will also add, before I show you this, not all of it from Nuclear War Now is black metal. The vast majority of it is, but there was some death metal I found that I have been wanting for a while, so I went ahead and snagged it. And right here we have Blood-Soaked Necrovoid, the Apocryphal Paths of the Ancient Eighth Vitriolic Transcendence. Yeah, this is a Death Doom act out of, I want to say, Colorado. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think they are out of Colorado. This was put out on Blood Harvest Records, and what this Vitriolic Transcendence, I'm not going to say the entire album name again, it is essentially a compilation of the first two Blood-Soaked Necrovoid demos. So, I wasn't able to snag the two demos. I'm not sure if Blood Harvest still has them or if they're on NWN Productions. But I got this so I could just kill two birds with one stone, just get them at the same time. Maybe one day I will get the individual ones, but in the meantime, that's what we're going to have. Next up, we got another Blood-Soaked Necrovoid. We got Into the Unknown Depths of the Unfathomable. This was released on Iron Bonehead Productions. If I'm not mistaken, this is their first full length, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So yeah, got some more Blood-Soaked Necrovoid. And I also want to throw out there, I'm sorry about the glare. The sun's starting to set here, and yeah, so a lot of these are probably going to have a glare. So we'll just have to deal with it. Next up is some more black metal, and it's the last CD that I got. Leviathan, the first sub-level of Suicide. This was pressed on Ascension Monuments Media, a classic DSBM record. It's not the Leviathan record I really wanted to get. I wanted to get Silhouettes and Splinter, but this is what they had, and I do not financially feel like spending like $120 to get some Leviathan. So I went with this, and that will do it for all of the CDs. Now, as far as the cassettes go, I got 2 cassettes from Nuclear War Now. And the first one that I got is Burzum Ask. Sorry about the glare. Don't quote me on this. If I'm not mistaken, this is a compilation of just early Burzum recordings that are off of like his first 2 records or first 2 demos, something of that nature. It has songs on it, like A Lost Forgotten Sad Spirit. It's one of my personal favorite Burzum tracks. And this was pressed on Deathlike Silence, so Euronymous' label, the late great Euronymous from Mayhem, whom Varg, aka Burzum, murdered. So we got that. Next up is another Blood Harvest death metal release. I will be doing a video on this album, particularly doing another review, live listen kind of thing that I normally do, and that is Astral Tomb, Degradation of Human Consciousness. I believe these guys are also from Denver, Colorado, and I don't think they are Death Doom. They are just more, from what I've heard so far, just kind of traditional cosmic death metal. They're in the same vein of like Blood Incantation, maybe some Tomb Mold, just a really good up-and-coming modern death metal sound. So, Astral Tomb, Blood Harvest Records, Degradation of Human Consciousness. Alright, next up for the cassettes, we're going to look at the MAGGOT Stomp. We have one of my favorite bands from MAGGOT Stomp, really cool dude, Inoculation Anatomize. This is killer. It only has 2 songs on it, the title track Anatomize and Nocturnal Leviathan. It's amazing, great. If you have not checked out Inoculation before, go check this out. They have a full-length album coming out, I believe, April 9th. So be on the lookout for their second full-length record. And yeah, it's great, killer, kind of more techie death metal, and it's definitely far more technical than anything that you're going to find on MAGGOT Stomp. Up next, we have a band I'm not too familiar with, but I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it, so I decided that I was going to buy it for Bandcamp Friday, which is when I got all of this MAGGOT Stomp. And that is Unarmit Self-Immolation Suite. I've listened to this one day while I was working on some projects, and it sounded pretty good. I haven't really went in hardcore though and intensively listened to it, but from what I've heard, it's a pretty enjoyable listen. So Unarmit Self-Immolation Suite. Now, next up is not technically from MAGGOT Stomp or Nuclear War Now Productions. I actually got this a few months ago, really. and it's from Desert Wasteland Productions. But it's kind of related to what we're talking about right now, and it is the four-way split Chasm of Aeons. And the reason why this is related is because Inoculation is featured on this split, as well as Astral Tomb. The other two bands is Replicant and Cryptic Shift. If you remember or have watched my favorite albums of 2020, Cryptic Shift took the cake on that. So this is a really killer split. I haven't opened it yet and listened to it, but I've heard everything on this from Spotify, and it's amazing. So yeah, check out Chasm of Aeons. I'm not sure who all has it anymore. I'm pretty sure Desert Wastelands is out of it, but you could check out maybe Inoculation or Astral Tomb. They might have copies of it still. I'm pretty sure all the 7 inches are gone, but you might be able to find a cassette. So be sure to check those out as well. Okay, now for the beef of the video, we are going into the vinyl section. Again, I apologize for the glare, and I'm also going to give an apology beforehand for any wrong pronunciations I do, because a lot of this black metal is not part of my native language, and I have no clue whatsoever what these words say, so I'm going to try to pronounce it or spell it, whatever. But first up, we have an album that I was really stoked to get because it allowed me to complete the band's studio discography. Now I just have to move on to their demos, and I've also got a couple more shirts that I have to get, and then I have almost everything that this band has put out, and that is Tomb Mold Primordial Malignancy. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that as well, but like I said, I already apologize for that. This was on Blood Harvest as well. Yes, it was on Blood Harvest Records, so I was able to snag that debut Tomb Mold record, and that was really cool for me just because I have everything now. Next up, from Nuclear War Now Productions, we got something from Peaceville Records. I've never really listened to this dude, to my knowledge. I'm sure he's popped up on like Pandora or Spotify or YouTube, but I've never actually searched him up to listen to him. But I know he is kind of regarded as somewhat of maybe a classic, and that is Talk. The record is BJOERGVIN. I have no idea what that says, but I thought I would pick it up just because I know a lot of people have mentioned him before when I was checking out black metal in the beginnings, and I never really got into him or looked into him, so I decided I would pick that up. Next up, we have some more DSBM. We have Zaster Nocturnal Poisoning. I believe this was the debut effort from Zaster, ever how you say it. I like this a little bit more than Leviathan, but again, it's still not my personal favorite Zaster release that I would have picked up. So yeah, there is that. I really want to show you guys the variants and the contents of these, but I'm not even going to try to pull it out with all the glare. So you'll just have to watch to the end of the video to see what these records are like. Next up, I got from War Master Records, one of the most probably notorious splits in metal. especially black metal. And it is a tribute to the Black Emperors Mayhem and Morbid. I remember when I was getting into black metal, like most people, Mayhem was kind of my introduction, aside from like the first wave with stuff like Bathory and Sodom, because I was really big into thrash beforehand, so I kind of knew that first wave. But the true Norwegian scene, and when black metal became a truly established genre, Mayhem was the band that kind of introduced me to it, and I was always fascinated with the whole dead suicide, and just that whole backstory of Mayhem is crazy. So having this is kind of surreal, because for years, even though I knew this was not necessarily a hard find, it was like just a holy grail item almost to actually hold it in my hands. Next up, I have not listened to this album. It is from Nuclear War Now Productions as well. I've listened to this band, but this particular album I haven't checked out, and it's Enslaved Frost. It is from Osmose Productions. So far, I've been getting back into black metal, I have noticed that Osmose Productions has put out some of my more listened to records. Next up, we have some more death metal that I got from Nuclear War Now Productions, and we got Cosmic Void Ritual, which is on Iron Bonehead Productions, and this is the excreted remains of the Saboteur system. These guys are kind of like in the same ship with Tomb Mold and that whole cosmic death metal thing. I haven't listened to them in a while, but if I remember right, they struck me very similar to Tomb Mold. Next up, we have another Cosmic Void Ritual from Iron Bonehead Productions, and this one is called Grotesque Infections of Interplanetary Divide. Some of these album names are too long, dude. Next up, from Nuclear War Now Productions, still, oh, my vinyl just fell over, I apologize. Okay, so next up from Nuclear War Now Productions, this is released on Peaceville Records. We have Dark Throne Soulside Journey. I'm aware that Soulside Journey is technically a death metal record, more so than being a black metal record. But nonetheless, Dark Throne is regarded, along with Burzum and Mayhem, to be like one of those big second wave true Norwegian bands. And this is my personal favorite Dark Throne record. And I've listened to this record for a very long time. Even more so before I got into black metal, just because, like I said, it's kind of regarded more of a death metal release. But Soulside Journey, killer album. Glad to say that I own it now. Next up is another Nuclear War Now Productions. This album was pressed on Floga Records. Never listened to this band, but it is Lambonic Art, the epitome of illusions. Apparently this is more symphonic, kind of along the lines of Dimmu Borgir and things of that nature. That's kind of why I picked it up, because I was really hoping I would find Stormblast or For All Tid, and I could not find it. And it said this was a recommended album for fans of that Dimmu Borgir. So I saw it and figured that I would pick it up. Next up is another really cool record. It is from Candlelight Records, as well as this particular pressing was done on Spine Farm Records, I believe, but it was originally done on Candlelight, and it is the Emperor EP. This is, again, another just classic black metal release. What I think is really cool about this one, it has Mortis on it, which Mortis was not on in the Nightshade Eclipse, if I'm not mistaken. So this is really cool. I'm a huge Emperor fan. They are probably, aside from Dark Throne, my favorite black metal band. So really cool to have that. Definitely going to get the rest of the Emperor discography at some point. Next up is another favorite of mine from Osmose Production, and that is Marduk, Those of the Unlight. This one has a really bad glare, but this was Marduk's first true black metal record, in my opinion. The album before this, Dark Endless, was kind of in the same boat as Soulside Journey, and yeah, Those of the Unlight it's really, really good. It still has kind of like that death metal feel, but it's a lot more black metal-y than Dark Endless or Soulside Journey, and it's just a killer record. If you have not checked out Marduk, they're definitely worth a listen, and they are not one of the Norwegian bands. They are a part of Sweden, I believe. And if I'm not mistaken, that is everything that I got from Nuclear War Now Productions. So for the last thing we have 3 records that I picked up from MAGGOT Stomp. And the first one that we got is Visceral Mass Human Stew. This is the debut effort from these dudes. Killer artwork. I'm trying to hold it at an angle so the glare is not as bad. I'm sorry. But it just strikes me as like an old school, like 80s death metal record, like Eden Back to Life, Eden Back to Life was 1990, I believe. So this is more like along the lines of maybe Slowly We Rot or Leprosy from Death. It just has a very old school vibe to me, and I love that. Next up, we have Fluids, Ignorance Exalted. These guys are absolutely sick. Death grind, gore grind, whatever you want to call them. Killer stuff. Their imagery is definitely suggestive. Probably not the best album to have playing if you have little kids running around. They're definitely a sight for sore eyes. Next up, we have Exploitative Practices from Fluids. This was the album that came out before Ignorance Exalted. I don't like it quite as much, but Fluids is one of my favorite MAGGOT Stomp bands, and I had to snag it. So, yeah. Thanks, everyone, for staying hooked in this long. I just wanted to show you guys what I got. This was originally supposed to be 2 separate videos where I was going to do a MAGGOT Stomp unboxing and a Nuclear War Now Productions unboxing. And I recorded a Nuclear War Productions, and I just didn't like it at all. Something about it just did not feel like a good video. And I decided that I was going to discard it. And before I got around to recording another one, I got the MAGGOT Stomp stuff. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to do a huge haul video and show you guys what I got. And this is it. So I have plenty of music to keep me busy for a while now. Be sure to check out my Instagram, which is Necrotic Astral Flesh. You can come by, hang out with me. I try to go live on Instagram about once a week, and I just kick it with people that watch. You can ask me questions. We'll talk about whatever, and I will throw on a cassette or CD or vinyl or something to listen to, and I have a pretty fat chunk of things that I'm going to be listening to on there. I will also be doing another live review listen on the Astral Tomb album, Degradation of Human Consciousness. But yeah, as always, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know when I'm uploading new videos. If you follow my Instagram account, then you will see updates on there more so than on here. Another thing I want to add is that I am working on a zine right now, which I made an Instagram page for it as well not too long ago. So be sure to go follow my personal account as well as the zine. And I will also put links in here for MAGGOT, STOMP, and Nuclear War Now Productions. And be sure to check out those labels and support them. And as always, spread love, spread peace, and stay cosmic. Alright guys, so right here we have the Beharit Drawing Down the Moon CD. You can see the front, and then the back with the track listing, and then the inside of the CD. Alright, and up next we have Blood-Soaked Necrovoid's Vitriolic Compilation. Here you can see the cover. Up next you will see the back cover with the track listing and the label it was released on. Next up is the inside with the CD. And last but not least is this super cool layout that came in the booklet. Alright, and right here is the second Blood-Soaked Necrovoid. This is the Unknown Depths from the Unfathomable. First up you have the front cover, the back cover with the track listing, and here's the inside. Alright, and last but not least for the CDs, we have Leviathan, the first sub-level of Suicide. At first you saw the cover of the album, and now you are looking at the track listing on the back, and here is the inside of the album cover. Alright, and now for the cassettes, we have Burzum Osk. Here is the side panel of the cassette. Here is one side of the cassette. And next up, you'll see another side of the cassette, which also showed the J cards on both sides. And next up for the cassettes, we have Astral Tomb's Degradation of Human Consciousness, where you will also see all the contents of the cassette. Alright, and next up we have Inoculation, Anatomize. And next up for the cassettes on MAGGOT Stomp, we have Unearmit, Self-Immolation Suite. And the final cassette we have is the Inoculation, Cryptic Shift, Astral Tomb, and Replicant 4-Way Split, Chasm of Aeons. And first up for the vinyl records, we have Tomb Mold's debut record, Primordial Malignity.